How are you doing? Let's wait another couple of seconds or so and then let's start the show. My name is Michael, Michael Nees. I'm a local, I live here nearby in the Nelson Tasman region, and yeah, I'd love to show you around today. And I'll give you a quick overview on what we do today and where we're going. So we start here at the Cathedral Hill. I'll swing the camera around soon, and then we walk through town. We talk a little bit about New Zealand in general. We talk about the Nelson region. We go to the Lord of the Rings shop, the Jensens, and then we stroll through the market, which will be interesting. So I'd love to hear your questions. If you have anything, just put it in the chat box. Love to hear where you're from. You know, which location. You're probably from around the world, which is always interesting to to hear where people are from. So yeah, it's let's see how it goes. Yeah, I think we should slowly start to make a walk through town, and yeah. So I'll put the camera around and show you that beautiful Nelson Park here right in the city centre. So right, we are here in at the cathedral. Yeah, Nelson Cathedral. It's this one is quite a modern one. It's been built in, been completed actually, I should say, in 1964. Hello. Linda, good morning, good morning. Yeah, it's 9:30 here in New Zealand. It's a bit weird at the moment because we had daylight saving in Europe, and we will have actually daylight saving tomorrow here in New Zealand, or tonight I should say. So yeah, timing is a little bit out of whack in a way. But yeah, I just want to show you a quick map about Nelson, just to get you started, to kind of show you where we are. So this is the cathedral here. Nelson, right in the center of Nelson. I'll talk about Nelson in a minute, but what we do, we'll walk around here, we go to the steps, and then we'll go down Trafalgar, have a look around here, go down to the shop. Yeah, a little different over here, it is, Linda. And yeah, that's where the Jensen's place is, and that's over there, that's where the market is. But yeah, there's so much to talk about, and I'll we better move on. But give you a kind of a few pictures here. I'll talk about later in the tour today. But these are pictures from the late 1890s. So we actually here. That was the old church. It looks a bit different now. They obviously changed a bit of things, but we'll actually walk down these stairs, and I'll talk about those stairs a little bit more. This is even earlier. This is even earlier. Can you see that? It's really amazing. So let's start walking, and let's start talking a little bit more about Nelson. So this is right in the city center. It's really a focus point here in Nelson, central Nelson. I want to go one step back really and talk a little bit about New Zealand as a country. When I walk through these gardens here, I always get the kind of, I get back to the times when New Zealand was actually not populated at all. There were only birds. Yeah, we had only a couple of bats which were fluttering around here, but there were no mammals in New Zealand. It's the same with the forest here. You can see the forest. New Zealand plants endemic because of the isolation New Zealand had. There were basically evergreen plants. Some of them you can see here. Some of them, these ones, they actually will lose their leaves. We're in autumn here. So that is fascinating, really. We have oak trees, etc., which were planted by the settlers, and some of these trees or pines, they're kind of like 160, 180 years old. So if we can, I'll show you a couple of native ones. But that is quite important, really, to understand about New Zealand, that until about 1250, 1300, there was actually, it was total isolation. Total isolation. There were no humans in New Zealand. The first one were the Maori population. They came from Society Island. They paddled over, or with their, I shouldn't say paddle, they had actually sailing ships, very sophisticated sailing boats, and they came over to New Zealand. It's about 1250, 1300, and they started to populate the North Island mainly, but also the South Island. So they've been around about 750 years, but yeah, before that nobody was here. So this is now the other end. Before we go down into town, this is now the other end. Look at what a beautiful day today. Look at that. So it's a kind of a modern style church. As I mentioned, the cathedral, as I mentioned before, it was finished in 1964. And you see those kinds of trees in front of you. They're obviously introduced ones. As I mentioned before, most trees in New Zealand are endemic. They're only really here. Here's one I just want to quickly pop over there. This is a Pahuta kava tree. It's a bit late now, but in the summertime, it's called the Christmas tree. So normally around about Christmas time, they're beautiful red kind of flowers. But yeah, obviously it's a little bit late now. We're already in autumn. So that's a Pahuta kava. So let's move on and go slowly down the steps. So with the settlers came to Nelson, basically it all started with the Treaty of Waitangi in 1840, where the English signed agreements with the local tribes. And for Nelson, that meant that there was the first wave of settlers came in 1841. And it was a bit of an organized thing. It's they promised, as usual, they promised people, land and wealth and all the rest of it, and they got a free passage. So mainly from the UK, from England, but there were also Germans and all sorts of nationalities, even Nordic. Came to New Zealand, and after the first 18 months, there were around about 3,000 people here in the Nelson region. So, and I really want to focus a little bit about the migration into New Zealand in those days, but also it's still the same. I'm a migrant, so I came to New Zealand around about nearly 40 years ago. Nearly 40 years ago I came here, and I think it's a really cool story to talk about that kind of where it starts from nothing, really. When I mentioned before, it started in 1300 when the first Polynesian seafarers came over, and until these days there are more and more migrants coming to New Zealand, and they actually add to the overall society and the feel and everything. And so here we have another cool little view. Joining you, looking forward. Hey Marina, good morning. Yeah, good to meet you. So yeah, this is those are the steps. We've seen that in one of the pictures before, but a wealthy donor, Thomas Clawson, he donated these steps in 1913. They were basically they used to be wooden steps, so they changed it to stone. So that was done, and there's some cool pictures you've seen before of that time, how it looked like. But here's also Nelson is obviously named after the Admiral Lord Nelson, which had the battles with old Napoleon. And yeah, funny enough, the street we're looking down here is yeah. Well, I'll tell you a story. Yeah, I will. Linda, I'll do that. So if we look down here, Trafalgar Street, so also related obviously to those battles in those days. So yeah, so let's cross over and go into central Nelson. So when you look at the map, I'm not sure, some of you have done the tour already, and I told you probably before, but let's cross a pedestrian crossing here. It normally works. Look at that. They let us through here. And yeah, so Nelson is located, if you look on the Google map, it's located the northern tip of the South Island. So it's near the Abel Tasman National Park, and it's a beautiful kind of a, yeah, it's almost Mediterranean kind of a feeling, and you know, you see all these beautiful trees. We have palm trees which are not native. I mean, those are introduced, but they grow very nicely here because we have a very kind of settled, very moderate kind of weather here in the northern part of the South Island. Just passing a sculpture here, and I want to introduce you to a very interesting gentleman. She's Elko Broswick. So this man established a cafe called Cheselco. And Cheselco, he was also a migrant. He was from the Netherlands. So that is where lots of these stories come along. And he established a beautiful coffee place, and which relates a little bit to my story, Linda. It's this was the coffee place. It's called Cheselco, but it's now a bar, obviously. But Cheselco closed about 15 years ago. So, but when I was a young guy, and I came here 1986. I came here to New Zealand with my bicycle. I'm originally from Germany. I kind of, for whatever reason, I thought, let's go to New Zealand. And I started bicycling around, and I fell in love with the place. And yeah, to cut a long story short, I basically stayed here, and I'm still bicycling. So and Cheselco are written because as a bicyclist, the funny thing is, as a bicycler, you're always hungry, aren't you? And I came across here at Cheselco's Coffee, and by that time I did write a tea house guide, believe it or not, a little guidebook, because I found these places here in New Zealand so fascinating. And anyway, cut the long story short, yeah, it's quite a journey, Linda. And there's more to come, actually. But yeah, he actually bought my first copies of my coffee tea house guide, believe it. He was a very kind guy. I've never forgotten that. It's kind of quite personal. Anyway, here we have another place, Italians. There's lots of Italians here in Nelson. They came mainly after the Second World War. So there's a whole range of nationalities from all over the place. But the cool thing is, it's kind of not too many from one place, you know what I mean? It's kind of a really nice mix, and that also reflects in the food, and that's where we're going today onto the market as well. It's a really vibrant and a very international feel. And one of the places here, that is Hopgood's. That's a famous restaurant here in central Nelson. So you see here the Oriental rugs. So it's really from Persia, and there's a Persian guy. So yeah, okay, cool. So over there is also the Federation. Let's just go quickly over there, because this is quite interesting as a side note, because the region here, the northern tip, Nelson and Tasman region, is also famous, obviously, for not only for arts and crafts, but also for food, wine and beer. And here's a place, I mean, we have Saturday morning here, so it's pretty empty still. So it will, there will be more and more people coming in, but we have a lot of hop growing in the region. And this is a kind of a, microbreweries, lots of microbreweries here as well. So you can actually taste different styles of beer. So that's quite cool. So I haven't been there myself. They just shifted there about a year or two ago. So anyway, let's head slowly back and go to our friends at Jensen's at the Lord of the Ring. I think some of you are really looking forward for that. Yeah, it's just across the road. The beauty is here with central Nelson, everything is really in walking distance. And we here, I mean, I live a little bit outside Nelson, and we often come here to, for the weekend on the market or go for coffee or something like that. So it's a very vibrant place. As mentioned before, arts and crafts is really strong here in Nelson. I would also, almost say that it's kind of the arts and crafts capital of New Zealand. There's a lot of artists around. And yeah, it is a lovely place. It is really lovely. It's about 50,000 people, so it's a good size. It's a good size. But because of all these migrants coming in, I believe there's one of the key reasons that we have such a vibrant arts and crafts scene. So, and one of these people in that, let's cross again, our trusted pedestrian crossing. One of these people which in that arts and crafts scene was Jensen. He is the original Ringmaker of the Lord of the Ring. And guess what? He came from Denmark. He came from Denmark. We'll just pop into the shop soon. Hopefully there are not too many people, but we want to hear the story about Jens Hansen, Jens Hansen, sorry, and about how it all happened with the Lord of the Ring. And yeah, it is beautiful. Look at the sky today. Blue sky, stunning. That's a classic kind of autumn day here in the Nelson Tasman region. Less wind, beautiful. And that's often a shame because most international travelers, they come actually during the peak summer months like January, February. And this time of the year, kind of after Easter, is really cool. It's a really nice time of the year. So let's pop in. So Jens Hansen, I think we can actually, there's nobody in there today, hopefully. Let's have a look. So this is the shop for Jens Hansen, the original ring maker. So if you have any questions, please sing out, let me know. I just pop in there now. So it's a very small place, but they really do beautiful and unique jewelry now as well. But you would not believe how many people actually come here and either buy one of the rings or just to really embrace the story about the Lord of the Rings. So they also have a website. I think it's jenshansen.com, but let's pop in and say hi. Hello.
Hey,
how are you doing? Right. Isn't that a beautiful little place, with all these rings? And I've got a few people on the call here.
Cool.
And if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit more about the story. I mean, I already told the viewers that, yeah, close it up. He doesn't want the publicity, eh? What's your name again?
I'm Jamie.
Jamie. Hello, Jamie. I just need to put my glasses on because I can't read what people are asking, you see. That's the trouble when you get old, hey? Yeah, Jamie, nice to meet you again. Just tell us a little bit more about Jens Hansen. He came from Denmark. I think it was 1952.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there.
Know a bit more than me, to be honest.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about these beautiful, about the history of how it all happened.
How the ring itself happened?
Well, how, Peter Jackson came along and that kind of thing.
Because, so Dan Henner was the art director for the films.
Just a minute, Jamie. I'll just put my other micro on. Always seem to forget that because it's otherwise they can't understand you. Here we are.
So Dan Henner was the art director of the films, and he is a Nelson local. And essentially, Peter Jackson just reached out to Dan Henner to say, "Hey, we want to get these rings made properly.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody?"
Yeah.
He just sort of said, "Well, I do know someone. Grew up with him, so I do know of him." And he came in and asked him to do it. We still make rings for that family as well, so like there's still good relationship there, and we do rings to them all the time. And yeah, it's sort of luck, I guess. A little bit.
Sometimes it works like that. So I understand that originally he produced 41 rings.
Yep.
and they used it to in the filming.
Yeah,
didn't
so
they?
41 rings, the biggest one you can see there. That was the biggest one that we did, the stunt ring we call it, used for a lot of the stunts.
Yep.
In the film, or a lot of the close-ups, a lot of the perspective shots.
Yep.
And then we did everything down to obviously finger-sized rings as well.
Yep.
Lots of duplicates just in case things got damaged on set. They didn't
Right.
want to stop production
Right.
to then send something away to get repaired
Yeah.
to then wait for it to come back again.
Yeah.
So they had to have
Yeah.
a few.
Yeah, yeah.
We also did Elrond's ring as well.
Yep.
Which is the one with the blue sapphire in it. So we
Oh.
actually did that properly, 18 karat yellow gold with a Ceylon blue sapphire
Yeah,
for the films.
yeah.
A lot of the other character rings and pieces from the film weren't made quote unquote properly. They were a lot of just props or made by wire and other things. But it obviously had enough screen time to warrant getting it made officially. And we also did the chain for the film as well that the ring sits on.
Right.
So we designed the little catch at the back.
So tell me a little bit about when visitors come to Nelson. I've seen so many times I walk past here, you know, they're really people that they're drawn to the place, isn't it? I mean, are they really keen Lord of the Rings, Hobbiton kind of fans?
Yeah. Daily we get fans. It's amazing. Like I'm a huge fan of the films. Grew up with them and had no idea that 24, 25 years later they were still so popular around the world. And it's amazing. Like, and then I started working here and I thought, oh, this is cool. Like, it's really quite nice that people travel to our country to really experience the scenery, the everything that Lord of the Rings, I guess, brought to New Zealand. And then just coming here is definitely a big highlight as well.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's fascinating that a small place they closed the gate on us.
Tiny, yeah.
I watch it extended version once a year. I do. Linda, she says she watched once a year the whole trilogy. So yeah, it's fascinating for me that a small place like this has been so influential to say on the whole production and Also the other thing is that Halfdan was actually initiating his father to take the project on. I read about that.
I think both the boys, pushed their dad into it a little bit because I don't think he really was interested. And they were like, Dad, it could be a really big thing. This could blow up, And I don't think he so much believed in it, but definitely the two boys did. And obviously glad that they did because it really put us on the international map rather than just the New Zealand map.
And it's quite fascinating too. I mean, as I said, I come here quite a few times and I always see people and they have these beautiful rings, and they're quite different and you're quite strong on social media as well. You're posting stuff.
Definitely getting there
and,
with that,
and it's fascinating. So, hey, I won't hold you up any longer, Jamie. Thank you very much for your time.
No
I'll just
problem.
have to go through to the market.
Cool.
And thank you and
Have a good one.
Bye
Nice
bye.
to see you again.
Bye. So isn't it fascinating? So here's a brochure, and I'll just have a quick look at that's Jens Hansen. I mean, just have a look. They're really good in what they presenting here, and it's fascinating because also a lot of my job. I work as I used to be a tour guide for the Germans coming to New Zealand, and I work as a travel agent with internationals coming to New Zealand, but also I do YouTube videos. So, and a lot of my guests they really ask for Lord of the Rings sites, and it is amazing. Guess what? There's about 150 sites in New Zealand where they have filmed parts of the Lord of the Ring or Hobbiton movie. So it's mainly stunning sceneries out, in the nature, in forests, on rivers, and mountains. But there's only one place left in New Zealand, which is the Hobbiton village up in the North Island, where you can still see some structures. Some of them are kind of fake, like you have a round door, and it kind of, you open it up and there's actually a wall. it is a little bit, yeah, a little bit different. So, but it's still, you know, after all these years, after 25 years, it's still very much a drawing card for internationals coming to New Zealand. So here's one of my little favorite vegetarian places. It's called the East Street Cafe. They open at 12, yeah, for Friday to Saturday. So yeah, let's slowly move over to the marketplace. It's getting busier. I can feel it. So so the market was established around about 40 years ago by a lady, and they originally started small scale on the river. We've got a local river called Mai Tai River, which flows in from the mountains into the sea. And the beauty with the Nelson market is obviously it goes back to a lot of migrants have established businesses there. Like a lot of, or at least some of major food production companies, and I'll show you a couple of them, they actually have started their business journey on the market. Like there's Pig's Peanut Butter, and we'll stop there as well and we'll have a chat to them. So what I would encourage you, if you have any questions, just let me know in the chat, because we want to engage with the shop owners, with the stall owners, and just talk to them, and whatever it is, if it's food, if it's art, if it's even, you know, the last time I've done the tour, we've done knives. We stopped at a knife maker. So there's all sorts of really quirky little stories. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and I will engage with the stall owners. The Saturday market is it's a big drawing card for tourists coming over, and especially on a nice day like this. Look at that! I mean, it's picture perfect. We at the end of the summer season, really. So that means we got it's quite a nice mix now of locals and international travelers still hanging around, getting their souvenirs. But let's start walking through it, and look at that. Sunheads, very important here in New Zealand, because we have in the summer season very strong sun here. So look at that. So it's always different. When I go through the market, there's always something different every time we do this. And we talk to different people. And I will actually put, if they have a website, I'll put the website links into the description box. So let's have a look. Pottery, been there last week, had a talk to her. How are you doing? Good morning.
Well, thanks.
I have another little tour going on. My last for this season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, hello, how are you doing? She's one of the, I love food and souvenirs and art. Yes, that's great, Linda. Yes, what's your name again? Miriam. So from whom?
Claybound.
Claybound. Miriam's one of the local artists here in the Nelson Tasman region. I caught up with her before in the Mapua. I live outside here near Mapua. So tell us a little bit more about your beautiful art, pottery.
Yeah, well, I make everything either on the wheel or I hand build it, and I develop my own glazes as well.
Yeah.
So I started making pots 3.5 years ago. So still pretty new, but I love it. It's my full-time job now. I'm also teaching classes here in New Zealand. So unfortunately, you probably can't come here, but yeah, and I just love it. It's so much fun to make all these things. Mugs are probably my best seller.
Which one?
Kind of
the mugs. Yeah.
Everything with a handle, people love.
Yeah. So that's quite interesting. where does the material come from? Is that the clay, obviously?
So the clay is either from Australia or New Zealand.
Right.
But the Australian clay is better for how hot I fire. So you can fire clay different temperatures. And the clay I use is good for my firing.
Yeah.
The glazes, yeah, I either make them myself as raw materials or I buy them.
Yeah.
And I use all different kind of techniques, and I love the texture when it has different texture. So I carve a lot as well as using different glazes, so I've got the texture.
It's quite interesting when I'm standing here. Obviously, the viewer can't smell, but I'm standing here and I smell the soap.
Ah,
You know,
yeah,
it's-
and next to my
Yeah,
soap shop.
yeah, the soap shop. We might pop over there, have a quick look,
Yeah, you
just as a
should. They look
transition,
beautiful.
because that's the part we can't bring
That's
across.
right, yeah.
You know,
And
so,
actually you have to touch my pottery as well because it's very tactile. So you
yeah,
have
look
to,
at that.
all these
It's
textures,
like
yeah.
almost like a fish. When you, I'm
yes.
not a fishing person,
No,
but,
no, no, but yeah.
I've done that before, like
Yes.
a carp. So hey, thank you very much
welcome.
for telling us a little bit about that.
Bye-bye. Have fun.
We just go next door and have a quick look on the soap, or smell the soap,
Yeah.
so to say. All right. So we're doing a bit of a live streaming with people from around the world.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and we're smelling. Look at these beautiful soaps. What's your name? My name is Mike.
Andrea.
Andrea. Hello, Andrea. Are you happy to be on the?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Andrea.
Hi, how
So
are you?
tell us a little bit about the soaps and whatever you have
Everything
here.
I make myself, so it's all handmade with natural ingredients and containing essential oils.
So where do you get the raw materials from?
I
Is
get
that
them from, well, I get them, they are sourced from everywhere. I usually buy them in New Zealand, but of course a lot of them will be made overseas. We can't
Yeah.
sort of make that quantity in New Zealand of a
yeah,
lot of the oils and that.
yeah.
So, yeah.
But you know, again, you know, it's hard to bring across because you get that
Yes, you
really
can't smell it all.
you know.
Yes,
But
yes.
you know, at least you can see this
You can see, and
lavender.
some of them
vanilla.
have texture in them as well, so they have like a natural exfoliant.
Yeah,
I have the goat's milk, which is really good for people with sensitive skin, with dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
they're all made with vegetable oils, so they all have
Yeah.
the same base.
So what do we have over here?
So we have all sorts of things. So we've got some room sprays, and
Oh,
some bath bombs.
wow. I love these soaps. Natalie says.
It's good.
So do you have a website?
I do.
What's the website?
So it's the Soapery NZ.
The Soapery NZ.
NZ.
Okay, I'll put it on the description link in the YouTube.
Okay,
So,
thank you. That's
so,
great.
hey, good to meet you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
too.
much. I
Have a
better
good
go
day.
around. There's
All
so
right.
much to
Okay,
discover.
perfect. Thank you.
Bye bye. Upsala. Rightio. So soap. We had the first experience here. Isn't that wonderful? And that's the beauty of this market here. You talk to the producer. You talk, you know, to people actually doing that stuff. And they're all professionals. Some of them, they have their own shop as such, you know, they may be based outside here. And again, as I mentioned before, some of them really start their business on the market. So let's have a look over there, what's here. I've never been over that. What's that? That's another interesting thing. I think he's a Japanese fellow. Let's go over fermented rice drink. I've never talked to the guy before, so hello, good morning. My name is Michael. I'm doing a live streaming tour with people from around the world. So would you mind if we talk for a minute?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So what's your name?
My name is Manabu.
Manabu. Hello, nice to meet you, Manabu. So tell us a little bit more about the fermented rice drink.
It's a kind of a traditional.
Just a minute, I'll have a microphone here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, it's a kind of a traditional Japanese drink using the fermented rice.
yep,
It's called amazake. That means a sweet sake in Japanese.
yep.
But it's non-alcohol, rather sweet and full of nutrient in there as well.
Oh,
It's
wow.
almost like a natural energy drink.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So how long have you been in New Zealand?
Been here for 20,
Wow.
24 years
Oh
now.
wow!
Yeah.
Look at that. Because I'm from Germany,
Yeah.
and part of the tour I talked about a lot of migrants coming to New Zealand,
Okay.
and they're all bringing their own individual culture and
Yeah,
food and
yeah.
art and all that,
Yeah.
and that's what it's so exciting here on the Nelson Market. So,
Yeah, that's right.
wow, that's great. Hey. Guys, if you have any questions, let me know, but otherwise I'll move on. Hey, thank you very much
No,
for
it's
your
all right.
time, eh?
No worries. Thank
Cheers,
you.
bye.
Cheers, bye.
Yeah, look, it's fascinating, fascinating. So, yeah, Martha. So look at these. I mean, the stalls, they're kind of, they can be simple as this, they can be simple as just having some vegetables, having some earrings, afterlife. Yes, yes, you will be able. I put it actually on my YouTube channel, and I put also links on these operators we talk to. If they have a website, I put the links on. So let's just cut through here and go to another row of shops. As I mentioned before, every tour I do here, I do them every 2 or 3 weeks. Every tour I do is different because I go to different places, talk to different people, and yeah, there's so many stories and so many cool products. Here's a guy I talked before. He's actually into smoke and spices. I'm not sure if he wants to talk to me again. But I will just say hi. With the Kia ora. Kia ora is actually the welcome, Mary welcome. But we all use it. So tell us more about your product here. Look at that. Looks spicy.
So we got smoked salt, roasted with garlic, shallots, chili, coriander, and mustard seeds.
So what do you use it for?
Everything. So steak, fish, chicken, roast veg,
Yeah.
avocados on toast.
Wow. Look at that. They have little bags. Have you ever exported them yet?
We have, yeah. Over
Wow.
to the UK, Portugal, America. Yeah.
That is the beauty. I mean, I talk about all the arts and crafts and food we have here in the Nelson region. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, eh?
And especially with that local Nelson market. Sorry, I put it up.
That's right. Yeah.
With the Nelson market, I mean, there's a lot of small places starting their business here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you started here?
No, so we started in Christchurch actually.
Oh, you started
yeah. But I live here now. So.
Yeah. Oh, good man. Hey, thank you very much. I'll move on. It's you have a website? Yeah, the Smoke and Spices. Yeah, good man. I'll put that on the thing. Thank you very much. Macarons. Look at those. Look at those. Isn't that beautiful? Hello. How are you doing? My name is Michael. I'm doing a live streaming tour, so on YouTube. Look at those. I mean, macarons. Are you the chef, or the baker, or whatever? You're the chef.
So
What's your name, please?
Jimmy.
Jimmy. That's
So
Jimmy.
all free range eggs, 0 artificial flavours, so all the fruits are all free from them.
Sorry.
No, you're all good there, bro.
So how do you produce them? I'm always was curious. How does it actually work?
Just whip your eggs till you can't whip them anymore.
Right.
You cannot over whip them. And then after that, just fold them in to your macaronage mix, but don't sift your almond meal. Throw your almond meal in there, sift your icing sugar, whisk those two together, then add your clear egg, and then add your cooked egg.
Wow.
And after that, they all come out pretty beautifully.
So how long will they last when you?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
About 2
Oh,
weeks.
wow.
As long as they're stored correctly. About 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. But cool storage.
Yeah, in the fridge. So in the fridge in an airtight container.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
they got a couple of days just outside in these containers over here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just do it the nice easy way.
Great. So you started your business here in the market, or is it
Yeah, about 2.5 years ago.
another sample of local, starting his business on the market and
That's the one.
going places? Hey, thank you very much for talking to us. Cheers, bye. So let's move on. So yeah, I mean, look, I never talked to this guy as well. So yet another local little business operator. Let's move on down there. And look at that, there's some socks here, some local socks. They're very popular now, of course, because we're going into the winter. Look at that. Socks and hand gloves and everything here. Right? Just showing the world what we have here in Nelson. Now, this is pig's peanut butter. And this is one of the places which really made it on the market. He has started, I think, in 2007 or so. Pigs, his name is Pigs, and he started with a concrete mixer. Believe it or not, he started with a concrete. I'll just let these people go. I want to talk to her if possible. He started with a concrete mixer to mix the peanuts, and he started on the marketplace here. So, is she buying or not? And yeah, the rest is history. They have moved now their factory for 5 or 6 times, and they're producing around about 30,000 of these jars every day. So it's been a huge success for you. I'm not sure if you can actually get the peanut butter overseas, but I believe so. But I think the people will hang around. But okay, let's move on. Let's move on. This time we can't. Hello. No, she's buying. Okay, let's move on. Oh wow, another soap shop here on the other side. Hello, how are you doing? I just saw her last night in a wine place. So here we are. You left Mapua.
I have. I love the Saturday market in Nelson.
Her name is Augustine, because I still can remember, because a friend of mine called, his surname was Augustine.
Oh, okay.
Here we are, Horst Augustine. So tell us a bit more about your art and your beautiful work here.
So everything is totally handmade, and it's all using sterling silver and copper, and then the stones themselves come from Ruby Bay, which is our local beach over near Mapua.
I love that one.
Aren't they
Kind of like,
fantastic?
the simplicity of it, but also the, how shall I say, the uniqueness of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Something so humble, but you give it a little bit of razzle dazzle, and they go from being plain old boring beach pebbles into wearable art.
yeah. And imagine if you, imagine if you wear it with the right kind of dress.
Yep,
You know,
totally.
It's some people are very stylish with
Yep.
that. You know, I can imagine
There we
it.
go.
Oh, look at that. She got one here. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
So that's great. Look at the rings as well. We've just been to the Ringmaker.
Ah, have you?
Yeah, just get that story, because there's so many stories here in Nelson.
Yeah.
And you know, with everything, and the market is really a place where everything comes together.
Absolutely.
With all the migrants as well.
Yep.
You know, I'm a migrant from
Yep.
Germany, and so here we go.
People from all over the place here, and it's fabulous.
It is fabulous. And also, just talk briefly, I couldn't talk to the pig's peanut butter because they were just busy. Beautiful jewelry, that's Linda. And yeah, it's a lot of businesses start here.
Yeah. Mine
So-
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
So tell us,
About
when did you start?
October 4 years ago. Oh, coming up to 4.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just got a stall. I had 24 pieces of jewellery. And I started and I sold some and people liked it. So then I came back the next week and the next week. And now I have my own shop. I have, a lot more than 24 pieces of jewellery.
Wow.
But yeah,
Look at
it's
that,
my full-time business now.
Great, and those are the kind of stories I think, they're so important, to tell. And I'm so happy that I can talk to you. Hey, thank you
Absolutely.
very much.
It is always a pleasure.
We'll catch up again. So I'll have a bit of a break. This is my last Nelson tour for this season.
Oh, is this?
But I'll be back.
I'll see you next.
Catch you later. Bye. So here, isn't that fascinating? So let's move a little bit further in where there's some more food. There's some slippers. Hello, that's Petra. She's a German. She does slippers. Some people already know me here. So yeah. So any questions? Look at that. Oh, he's playing. That's another thing here. Often you get either people singing, like sometimes they're really opera singers, sometimes they're just, you know, hobby singers. I don't have, the problem is really in a way, I would love to give some money, but I don't have any cash because here in New Zealand, we're now basically a cashless society. We all do with cards, you know. So let's move into the hustle and bustle here of food, coffee. When I came to this country, you know, nearly 40 years ago, everybody was drinking tea. But now it's really a coffee culture. It really is. And we love our coffee. And if you want to support my channel, please feel free. There's a link to buy me a coffee. But yeah, lots have changed in respect of food. And again, the migrants have brought in a lot of different styles and a lot of different flavors. Yeah, all the difference. It is incredible, really. It is. And keep in mind, we now kind of approaching the end of the season. And here's a German shop. I mean, as you probably be aware, Germans love their sausages and love their Wurst, Leberkäse. And just want to show you that. So here we are. Look at that. She's selling different styles of sausages. To be honest, I'm not into sausages too much, but yeah, it is still. Here's another interesting one. It's called whitebait. So whitebait is a kind of a very small kind of a fish, which is here, like he's serving at the moment. He has whitebait on toast. So what they do. Hello, I'm just doing a live streaming tour. Is that all right if I just film you whitebait? Yeah, cool. So whitebait is a kind of a little fish. They fish with a net a certain time of the year, and what they do, they mix it with eggs and put it on toast, and that's a delicacy. It is beautiful, and it's very famous. Very expensive actually. I'm not sure how much they charge now, but it must be at least $50 or $80 a kg. So. Yeah, that's whitebait. So that's classic New Zealand cuisine, so to say. Here's a bit of a grapes. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but crepes. So yeah, all sorts of little waffles, juices. So yeah, it's vegan. That's another thing I want to mention here. We have in New Zealand, food has come a long way. Vegetarian, vegan, whatever style, you can get it. There's a big push for local production, local produce, small scale, more flavor, and we all try to support those local businesses, and you know, a little bit small scale, and like. And that's the beauty with the market here as well. Look at that, there's also some wood. Look at those, aren't they amazing? I might talk to him. Hello, how are you doing? My name is Michael. I'm doing a live streaming tour on YouTube.
Yeah.
So can I talk to you? Would you mind? Okay, cool, I got another mic. What's your name, please?
I'm Kemp.
Tim?
Kemp, yeah, that's my first name.
Hello, Ken, nice to meet you. Tell us a little bit more about your beautiful art here. You have obviously different styles of wood. Tell us a little bit. What's that over there?
Well, this is a piece of New Zealand native red beech, burr.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of burr timbers.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got silver beech here.
Yeah.
And you've got the pepper tree here. And then you're getting into with your big vases here. That's black walnut. So, you know, I'm working with both native and exotic.
So that's black walnut.
Black walnut, yeah.
Is that a New Zealand one?
It's really a New Zealand. It's an American native,
Right.
really, but it's grown here in New Zealand. 150-year-old tree.
Wow.
Yeah,
So where do you find those trees?
This came out of Appleby. Would have been planted with the early settlement of Nelson.
Wow.
So and then you've got a bit of matai here, which has been salvaged out of the Aorere River in Golden Bay, and they thought it was about 1,700-year-old tree. So that's how, if you're going to get your native timbers, they have to be solid.
So that is 17, thought to be 1700 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. So you basically got that from the
river, yeah.
from the rivers.
Yeah.
Wow. So how long? I mean, that is just a beautiful piece of art. How long would it take for you to produce that?
I would start that and finish it over a 9-month period. So I'm doing it in stages.
Yep.
So it's hand sculpted, not turned. So yeah, that's my big work. Yeah, a lot of work. And not particularly nice work taking the middle out of it.
Wow. So you have to take the middle out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't go in there, but
It's a vase. So I've been doing this for 35 years. So that would probably be the top of my ability when I'm doing something like that.
So is that your full time?
Yes, you're full time.
What are you based around here?
Yes, I'm out at Wakapuaka. I've got a big workshop out there in gallery, and and I welcome people out there if they want to come. But I'm pretty well selling here at the market for 35 years.
Wow, for 35
I have done big shows.
Yeah.
I used to do that when I had 4 kids and a mortgage. So, but yeah, I'm pretty well now. I'm just doing the stuff that I really want to do,
Yeah.
and I hope that reflects
Oh, cool.
what I have.
Do you have a website?
Not really.
Not really?
I've never
Okay.
really needed it. People need to come and pick it up
Yeah,
and touch it.
yeah.
I think with wood. Pretty hard to show something through a photograph.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of things with photographs that can make things look better than they are. I like people to see for themselves.
Well, thank you very much, Kemp, for showing us around. It's been fascinating because there's so many stories on the market where people like yourself being here since 35 years.
Yeah, well, I think I'm the longest.
Are you?
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, I'm a
we
veteran.
found the longest
I think you have.
member.
I was here when the market started.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it actually started
At the
Miller's
river.
Acre.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, Miller's Acre, where the information centre is now.
Oh.
Started there, then moved here because it got a bit deep. And we actually were sleeping in our van on a Friday night to get our sight. So yeah, we're permanent.
Yeah, I remember that too in my days on the flea market in Germany.
Yes.
You know, you had to protect your little patch.
Yes. Now we're permanent sites. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much
Yeah,
for
you're
talking to us.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you. Bye. Yeah, yet again, I mean, you see, you find people. 35 years he's been here. 35 years. I mean, it's basically as long as I'm in New Zealand. So very, very cool. So yeah, we've got a few minutes left to go through. We have here another famous shop and place. This is the Dutch place. They have traditional Dutch cakes, coffee done the Dutch way with filters, percolated filters. So let's have a quick look there. Look at those. Hello, my name is Michael. I'm just doing a live streaming tour. Would you mind if I just film that? Yeah, look. So what are they called? The what?
Dutch apple donuts.
Dutch apple donuts. Wow, and look at that. I remember that from my childhood when my grandmother did that. Look at that. Pouring in the coffee. Wow. Hey, thank you very much. Look at these beautiful little cakes. Ooh la la. That's a date and almond tart. Wow. Dutch apple cake, famous. Yep. Wow.
That's right.
I might come back actually. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so we're slowly coming to an end. As you can see, there's lots to discover. Some of the places, it looks fabulous. Some of the places are no longer, for them, the season has finished. Like here, last week there was a pizza place. Last time, I should say. Haven't been here last week. But there's one more place I want to show you. It's just fascinating. I talked to him last week. He's doing lampshades. Lots of Dutchies here. Yeah, there are actually. Interesting enough, in 1642, Abel Tasman, who was Dutch, came to New Zealand, and he was actually the first European to. He didn't set foot on New Zealand, but hello, here he is.
Hi.
So yeah, but there's a few Dutch around here.
Funny, this guy's live streaming.
Live streaming. Let's stream us live.
He's from Germany too.
Well, no, I'm originally from Germany.
Oh, my wife's also from Germany.
Is she? Whereabouts?
Niedersachsen.
Niedersachsen. I'm from Hessen.
Flachland.
Flachland.
Yeah, okay. Hessen, okay.
Hessen, Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just talked to, is it Faye, is it?
Hamish.
Hamish, sorry. So he's doing beautiful lampshades. So I also put it on the website, on the description in that live stream. So yeah, we're coming slowly to an end. We had an hour walking through. I might actually turn the picture around because I always like to show my face at the end. So yeah, it's been lovely to walk through. As I mentioned, this was my last tour for this summer season on the Nelson Market. I'm going to Australia next month for a couple of months, so we might do a yeah. Thanks very much, Natalie. We might do actually a tour over in Tasmania, and I'll go up to further north, Port Douglas, Great Barrier Reef. But yeah, I haven't decided yet. But for this season, it's the last Nelson. Yeah, Linda, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm considering it. Depends a little bit on the internet connection if I do that. I go mainly to Australia, to Tasmania. Yeah, live streaming. Yeah, I'll try to do it. Depends, on the internet connection. But I go to Tasmania. I go to Melbourne. Melbourne should be fine. And then I go up to the Whitsundays, and then I go up to Port Douglas, Cairns, which is the northern part of Australia, Great Barrier, Daintree. So yeah, I really would love to do that because I like showing, guests around and tell you a little bit more, so you can actually be part of that journey. So thank you very much again for joining, and see you next time. Bye.